Blood. Can I just say that this thing here?
Should we don't that light?
Look what it does. Look what it does. You see? But then that's too dark, G.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like that.
Look what it does though, bruv. Why did you touch it?
That's it, it's calm. Like
Cool.
that. I think it's better like that.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 24 of the Sweet Science Bomber-Clark podcast with myself, Fat Mouse. Who else we got in here?
I'm Kash.
He's Kash.
I'm Kash. What was it? It's not AK anymore. It's just
with a
I'm
C.
Kash
With a what?
with a K and not a C.
I like that. Refined.
I'm gonna get used to it slowly.
All right, cool. Welcome back, everyone. Here we are. It's been a nice little week. It's cold. It's cold. I don't get cold. I don't usually feel the cold, but it is cold right now. Blood. Wow, we. What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying, though, G?
I'm alright, brother. How are you?
Brother.
What am I saying? I'm saying nothing much, to be honest.
Week's been a bit of a Mazzino still.
I packed Sterling yesterday. Raheem Sterling, I packed
him. That sounds hella sus.
Nah, Jila. Ultimate Team, Jila. You know what that
Can
means,
I just say
Jila.
this, yeah? This is Costa. Limited edition, the purple one, latte. Boy, it is mad.
Mazai.
Mad! Crazy still. And the thing is, because I got this from the machine, innit? There was no stirrers, so I never stirred it. So right now, it's all concentrated at the bottom.
Oh, is that what it is?
Liquid gold, man.
It's dank. That's so dank.
All right, cool. Here we are, man.
Yeah, but before you rudely interrupted me on what I did in my week,
Ban your weed.
talking about a shit coffee.
Shuffle.
And that's it, to be honest. That's the highlight of my week. I spent 10k on a bronze player by accident.
I don't understand this, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For the people
like
like
Pokemon cards thing, innit? But football.
Yeah, the Ultimate Team cards, innit?
What's it good?
Ultimate Team.
I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. Yeah,
I'm
so
Team
this
Rocket.
guy's
Are we Team
fully
Rocket?
Fully grown man playing football, but that's fine. That's normal.
Bro,
cards.
There's
not just
hella
cards, not even physical cards.
Fuck this.
Digital
Fuck this puss.
Cards.
No. You're gonna bite your. You're gonna bite your fucking. You're not gonna brush your tongue. You're gonna bite your tongue.
Where'd you get that from?
Pussy. Listen, one sec. How many people
at the
How
station?
many people play FIFA Ultimate Team?
FIFA.
He's trying to take
FIFA.
10 million players.
I swear, dog.
That's FIFA 20. This is 21, yeah? The new one, obviously. Bro, EA Sports says they have
It's
at
in the
least
game.
10 million players playing Ultimate Team. 10 million.
Try that.
And he's trying to get onto me.
EA Sports. It's in the game. I
was
can't do
so
that. It's
dead.
so dead, man. I ain't got that powerful voice, you know.
So this EA Sports. It's in the game.
No, but it's not that because he does it hard. Like he's like EA Sports. It's in the game.
He's not Canadian, but
Like-
sports.
What?
They pronounce they're like
Shut
they're like Welsh people.
up. Man said they're like, well, ES. No, that's, I can't.
No, like compare them to the Welsh or the Scottish.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
Sucks. EA Sports. It's in the game. Better. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Gangster.
Thanks.
They got a bit of more
Oh, a little bit of a twang.
twangarini.
Blood. All right, cool.
But yeah, I was fuming. But apart from that,
Flumen.
can't go wrong. Alhamdulillah. It was alright, bro.
All right, man.
Had a fantabulous week. Bare tasted, lads.
Yeah. Oh,
Dusty
man. That's
finger
disgusting.
licking chicken.
So, local to the ends, there's a place called Taste of Lahore, yeah? It's like a little Asian
Man,
Indian
put
gaff.
emphasis on the second part of that last word.
What did I say?
He's-
Lahore. No way. No, it's just like, hear me. And their food will give you a bellyache if you ain't like,
If you're not
if
foreign.
you're not used to it.
Basically,
yeah?
if you're not brown.
If you haven't, no, it's not even that. If you haven't acclimatized your belly to it, you're gonna get sick. But it is so dank and disgusted at the same
Listen,
time.
Danny puts it best.
Saves your hand, yeah.
The way Danny puts it best is dank while you're eating it, but it's so
Aftermath
dead
is
after.
So clapped, but you forget it.
Yeah, you don't
You
realize.
forget it's like meth, bruv. You take
And then
that,
your
it's dank while you're high.
Tell them
and
about the
then
finger
afterwards,
stuff. You love the finger shit.
My fingers are all, because like it's chicken and bread and them things there, innit? Always yellow. Fingertips yellow. You look at them. I've scrubbed. I've cleaned. I've done everything you can. Yellow fingertips, bruv. Looking like.
Do you know what it is though?
Dog. What?
It's because they put food colouring in the food. You know
Why
what
are
I mean?
they colouring the food, bruv?
It's just how people do
Man
it.
got a little felt tip and just start colouring in the chicken breast.
Designing,
Make it
yeah.
look yellow.
They design it.
So much design.
Instead
But
of going Harrods,
Blood, it's mad
for
because I've been
designer.
battering that place
Yeah, it's
the
boring,
past
though.
week. It's not good, man. It's not good at all.
But yeah, how was your week?
It's alright still, man. Still
Basically the
busy.
same week as mine.
Blood.
Watch
You
Dogs.
know, I've been
Battering Street Fighter.
blood. Can I talk?
He's a gamer.
And I'm not a gamer.
He tried to stick it on me earlier, 5 minutes ago, but now he's a full-time Street Fighter.
blood. I'll play a young Street Fighter here and there. I'll play a young flipping whatever in it. But it's not
We're
even
young, man said young, 30 games in a row, bro. Battered Shumanator.
Yeah, but that's that, man. I'm just blood. I applied. So right now, yeah,
You're
man's
home.
unemployed, isn't it?
Homeless.
So man applied to be a flipping Amazon driver, yeah. And the way the process is so quick, the only thing that's remaining, and this is all in a matter of 2 days, the only thing that's remaining is the drug test. And I ain't got no drugs. So yeah, man. That's tomorrow still. I'll let you know. Fingers crossed. I don't know. Is that a do we do that? Nah. Here's hoping.
Gonna come back positive from hella
man
cocaine.
no, I'm saying next time we record, I got a job. Delivering, I might even deliver to your yard. Inshallah. You get me? Wembley area. That's the pickup point. Yeah. And I bought a flipping home bike, exercise bike.
Did you?
Blood, a bag too. £1,200 for an exercise bike, bro.
You bullet.
But I'm not paying up front. I paid it in installments because I'm not an idiot. But it's not
It
here.
must
do
be
you know-
dank though.
It's not arrived yet.
I bet it must be dank one.
No, it is dank. It's dank. But it's the lead time is like 6 weeks. It's meant to be 4 weeks maximum, you know. Maximum. But now they said, listen, because of the current climate and all them things there, it's going to be another probably 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh.
I'm so fuming. But it's all good because gyms are opening on the 2nd. So,
We're back next week, ladies and gentlemen. But listen, one thing about the bike,
man
yeah,
has just done it. Yeah.
bag 2.
Yeah.
It's good though. Like I can't lie to you, getting
It's
those
an
kind of things,
investment, it's
you
an
have to pay
investment.
for them things.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get one of them stupid Argos ones. That
But
creaks
that's
when
what
you
I
sit on
got.
it.
That's what I got. I bought one from August, I think, for like 50, 60 quid. And the reviews were banging on it, but these people must have been about 5
You've got to
kg.
be you got to be
Yeah.
a really small, skinny little you. But nah, man, I
And,
needed a sturdy thing. I needed the
Bro,
maximum.
it
weight
felt
of
like I was
150.
riding a unicycle.
Nah, this has got the resistance you can thing in. It's magnetic.
That didn't
resistance.
work.
Bare
Well,
things.
I had to put it
Yeah,
together
because
myself, so I don't know
There
if
you
it.
go. That's
if I
where you
just
went
broke
wrong.
the whole thing.
I'm
But
gonna hire someone to do that, brother. You mad? That's not for me, man.
can I do it for you?
Never.
Please pay me a
You can turn it
jacks,
into a
and I'll
freaking
do it.
Shelf.
I'll turn it
This
into
guy.
a tin can unicycle.
But yeah. Anyway, here we are, man. Hopefully, man, be employed next week. Have a bike next year. Here's
Hey,
to positive thinking. Yeah, man. I'm gonna review something, but I'm a bit fuming because I know exactly what I wanted to review. It occurred to me yesterday, even though it's been on the radar for a while. It occurred to me yesterday. I was like, yeah, boom, I'm gonna go there. I checked what time they open, what time they close. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on a Sunday. So I thought, boom,
boom.
I'll be able to pick that up anytime. Spoke to Kash. I said, yo, listen, what time's a pod for? 5. All right, cool. I'm gonna go collect it now. These times is about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, 3:30.
About half 3, yeah.
Fly down there. It's not far from my yard. I've never seen it before. It's on some hidden road. I'm not gonna reveal it too much because obviously we're gonna do them soon.
Yeah, save it.
And then, bam, I get there. Old Italian man's having a blem outside. He's like, "Hey, call the manager for you." It's like, blood, just tell me like where's the menu? He goes, "Oh, okay, 1 second." Menu guy came out with a manager came out. He's like, "Yeah, so, sorry mate, can I get a menu please?" Nah, unfortunately we're closed until 5. It says you open at 9. Yeah, breakfast, brunch and them things there. And then after that, so I'm fuming, bruv. I'm like, oh, man, can I just order this and that? I know what I want already. I've seen it on Instagram. He's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. They're still preparing it. Bear in mind, yeah, it's like an hour until They open again. It's like I said, it's 3:30, probably 4 o'clock by the time I got there. Are you telling me it's not ready? Well, you still baking it? Just cut up two slices and give it to me and take my money. Anyway, said allow it. So now I'm recalculating in my head. I'm rerouting in it. I flip, man. Where can I go? All right, I know. Camden. It's probably got bare dessert. No, it has got bare desserts. Bam. Pull up there. Walk down the road. Get into the market area. And Chin Chin Labs. Yo, boom. Chin Chin Labs is boom. Let me go there. Mad queue. These times I've only put in half an hour for the car, and we've booked for 5, so we're gonna be late, innit? That's flop. That's not gonna work. I'm walking around now, and you can hear one go, £2, 3 for £4. I was like, wow, that sounds like a bargain. Man, you get 1 free basically, innit? I was like, all right, cool. What are you selling there, mate? Bam, Camden Donuts. Camden Donuts. Let's check if they got an Insta. Yeah.
Flamden. Flow nuts.
Lanvanor Road.
Patrick Van Aanholt.
Blood, I don't know how to do this, man. You're faster than man, but I can't.
Just let me do it.
All right, cool. So then anyway, I go there. Now this guy's as British as you like. Yeah, Cockney's you like. Yeah, mate, 3 for £4. Boom, bam, bam. These donuts are wham. Yeah, I'm gonna show you them. I got them. They're huge.
I didn't want this thing.
Blood, listen.
They might, but
I require. I would like. No.
Okay. That place.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, but nah. But yeah, so anyway, I made the order now. I'm like, okay, he's got a fat selection. Cash, what do you want? They've got red velvet, they've got pistachio, they've got this, they've got triple chocolate. Triple chocolate! Give me triple chocolate! Alright, so they got this and that. Like, triple chocolate.
Why are you making me sound like
cool? Because you're an animal, bruv.
Like Tyson Fury, bro.
Oh, you want a triple chocolate? I can't do it, man. But yeah, so I was like, alright, cool. So he made it easy for man. And then I
don't know why he even asked. He knew.
Sorry. Apologies, guys. And then I thought, all right, cool. Let's see what they've got. Now I like strange things, innit? I want something that's a little bit obscure, something that might not have been tried. So this is somewhat fits the bill.
1 second, Baba. Before you kick off.
Yo.
Introduction. What time is it?
What time is it? What time is it, blood? You're the one who asked me. Answer the thing.
Oh no, you're meant to. This is what you do.
This is the food review of the week. Like, man introduced it seamlessly. Now you just made it a whole little scene. But I see why. All right, so, but you didn't get that reference, did you?
I did.
It's a family reunion. Who we introducing? That's it. I had to just run that in my head
Massive,
again.
bro.
But yeah, time for the review. Dessert review of the week. Boot up this.
Oh, snap.
Alright, cool. So now let me just show you what I got, yeah? Blood.
Give me your phone.
It is weighty. Now just take a picture like that in my hand.
No, I can't because my camera's cracked now.
Okay, so your phone. I thought you meant give me my
Your
phone.
donut.
Who we introducing? Bear in mind, I have got the biggest hand I have come across. Yeah?
Him and Bigfoot Silver have the same hand.
Bigfoot Silver.
Oh, so
Flash that, man.
1 sec. Flashman.
Flash me.
No, don't move the thing.
Okay, stop. No, don't put that flipping paper bag.
There. Just
Why
do
you
that.
put the
Don't
paper
worry
bag in
about
the way,
that.
you flipping idiot?
I'm getting it
How many are you
nice.
taking, bruv? It's a flipping photo shoot, bruv.
It's a photo shoot.
Man, try to send nudes of a donut, bruv. All right, cool. So this is it. All right, let's do that stupid thing that you like to do, the thumbnail.
I said stupid. It gets us millions of views.
Stupid.
This is massive, bro.
Bruv, these are so wham,
It's bigger than my head.
but I can already feel what they're like in it.
Why'd you never smile in it?
Because now, exactly, you hit it. I don't know how to smile anyway. Yeah.
So fake.
So here we are now, yeah?
Such pussies.
This thing here. So just to touch. Okay, so now you know what? Appearance of this. This is the hazelnut. So what's that thing called? So you like?
dang,
Nutella. Man couldn't even wait. He couldn't wait.
No, I was just eating some of the
Nutella
things on top.
and pistachio. Pistachio. Yeah? Donut. So to touch.
It's rock
I don't
solid
know
though.
yet, blood. I don't know yet. Do you get me? But let me take a bite and see what I got. Yeah?
Is this a donut or is this? It is.
It's got a ring in it, but it's still
Bro.
covered the top.
3, 2, 1.
Blood. Is this a bagel, bruv?
Bro, what kind of bread is this, bro?
This is a bagel, blood. What is this, bruv? Did man go flipping bagel bite? What is this? I don't know, bruv. If you could see
it's too cold and
what
hard.
I'm seeing.
Show them.
Look, bruv, piss off. Look how many layers there are. It's so thick.
It looks like a
Focus,
cake.
please. Anyway, there are so many layers. It's so, bruv, I can put my
Let me see, you fingered it.
blood. Stuck my finger in there. It is so thick. Alright, I don't know yet, man. Obviously, I need to take more. I'm gonna finish it as is always the case.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's stuffed inside as well. Damn.
Okay.
But I'm fake.
Bite
Look,
number 2
what
is
am I?
good.
No, I'm fake.
Yeah. He's always, people are getting onto him about the food challenges, how he's struggling to finish them, saying that it's just a fake attempt. It's quite difficult, but I think you can try harder still.
On you, bro.
Shut up. Okay, so the highlight is the topping, obviously. Chocolate sauce, Nutella. Why did I say it like that? Nutella and what's them green nuts called again? Pistachios. Is it nice? Blood.
Bro.
That's the only thing it's got going for it. That's the only thing it's got going for it.
The filling's not evenly spread.
Uh-huh.
So it's just puffed on one side, bro. It made me sick.
Thick.
No tissue. Oh, dang.
I got you, bro. I got you. Take it.
This should be the thumbnail.
Hurry up, man.
Look at that. Move like Bruce Lee. Apparently it's Bruce Lee's birthday yesterday.
I don't give a fuck.
It would have been 70 or 85?
300.
I said 70 or 85. 15 years in one day.
Listen. I'm going to eat this throughout the episode because
Because there's too much.
I can't do it. I shouldn't have finished my coffee, bruv. The whole point of the coffee was for this moment.
I looked at the water like it's got something inside it.
Nah, you know what I did? I looked at my beard. Sometimes I can see if there's something in there. If I look down like that, yeah?
That's
You can
that.
see if there's anything there. You can't. You can just see your tash.
I'm looking at. I was going to say something else.
I don't even know what you're going to say, but I'm just...
You think you know. And
I
you
think
as
I
well.
know. I'm going to keep battering it though. Alright, so let me get to the review anyway.
Appearance
move on.
at 10?
Appearance was actually surprisingly good because you look at it, you think, whoa,
It looks bomb.
there was a spectacle. Bare people were there like, oh my God, how did it get so big? Oh my, it's bigger than my hand. And I was like, yeah, it is pretty big still. Yeah. And it looks quite nice. It does look quite nice.
It looks
actually gonna
bomb.
say
They designed it
9
nice.
out of 10. 9 out of 10 for appearance.
I like that.
That's very fair.
I'm good with that.
I lie?
I'm good with that.
As for the taste, do I do it by face, like if I was blind tasting, or my expectation versus what actually hit, man? Reality. Do you get me? If it's a blind taste, I'd be like, oh, that's dead. But this is even more dead because I'm looking at it thinking, oh, that's dank.
No, I think it should just be blind taste. I think. Just what does it taste like?
I like the topping. I like the topping. There's no... It's a very rough product. It's not. It shouldn't be considered a final product. Sorry. Do you get me? It's rough around the edges. It's just pure Nutella, just pure chocolate sauce, just flipping crushed nuts. The donut itself is so dead. It's like a bagel, bruv. Imagine, you know when you get a bagel from the fridge, you haven't even heated it or anything.
Yeah, yes.
It's like that,
yes.
bruv. Okay, maybe not the fridge. The fridge is too cold, but like it's a room temperature bagel. So it's got that.
How much
it's got
were
that
they?
resistance. £4 for free.
Oh, that's not that bad. I thought it was going to be like
£4 for free. Yeah, they're £2
£4
each. They're basically £2 each. But obviously, if you get
It's not bad.
free, they're £4.
For the size you're getting, I mean, this is like quantity over quality, to be honest,
Yes.
because they're huge and they're not that the best. I think I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. So sorry, what was your rating for taste?
5. And that's being quite generous. Being quite generous because I like the top. The top. I like the top, but I just don't like the whole thing is dead. So I wouldn't get it again, but I'd say a 5 out of 10. 9 out of 10 appearance, 5 out of 10 for taste. Take it away, Kash.
Excuse me. Yours looks really good. So his one looks really good. I'll pick up mine now. I've got about 3/4, 2/3 left. Yeah.
Whoops. So
It's quite mad, but it's too. I don't know. It hasn't been crafted correctly. I think the word is.
man said crafted.
You know what I mean? Like, look, all the fillings there. There's nothing there. Obviously, I can probably dig in and it'll probably be halfway there. But forget. Anyway, appearance-wise, it looks a bit weird. It doesn't look too nice. It just looks like
Yours looks like a hedgehog.
bare. Yeah. What are these called again? Buttons. No. Chips. Chocolate chips. Man said shit. I thought he said chips for a second. They put bare chocolate chips on top. Just covered the whole thing. I don't mind that because I'm
You're a chocoholic.
chocoholic. So appearance-wise, but it doesn't look the best.
It
doesn't look too fancy.
It's still wham.
I'm gonna give it. Yeah, litter everywhere.
guys.
Break everything.
Sorry, Pirate Studios, Wembley, HA9.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Appearance. 7 out of 10. In terms of taste, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. It's not the worst donut I've ever had. I've had worse, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely not in my top 50,000. So, I really think if it was warm, it would be better. I think because once the bread's a bit, the thing is
Man
the
said
bread.
bread.
Sorry,
From time you
the
called
dough.
it bread.
The dough is so plain though. Like actually,
So
but
plain.
it tastes like bread, no?
It's like
Do you get it?
that's what I'm saying.
That's like a bagel.
It's like a bagel, bro.
Yeah. But even bagel got a bit of salt added to it or something. Like this got there's no salt, there's no sugar, there's nothing in it. You get me? Taste, I'm gonna give it a solid 5 out of 10 as well.
5 out of 10.
I
So
agree.
we're even Stevens on that one, yeah?
Can't believe you put bleach on your hands, bro.
Like, okay, so I'm using 4-in-1 multi-purpose cleaner and disinfectant spray. What?
Disinfectant free.
Disinfectant
That's the
spray.
bloops, G. That.
Disinfectant spray to clean my hands because it's sticky. I'm not going to use my water because right now that's a valuable commodity considering there's only a couple drops left. I don't know why you thought it was okay to get me half a litre of water, bruv.
Fresh fragrance.
Yeah, I smell fresh still.
I didn't think you would. Oh, snap.
What are you doing, bruv?
Don't do it.
I wasn't meant to do that. I wasn't meant to do that.
Bro, you're
I never do that.
You're gonna die.
I never knew that. Ah, it's on my nose, bruv. Alright, okay, yeah. Can kill you if used.
It says, 1 second, hold on. If you have a big beard, you're 6 foot or above, yeah, wham, dank. Oh, shit. What the fuck just happened? What's that, Mama?
What are you doing,
Why
bruv?
did you chew everything?
Are you alright there?
It says, and
you
wear
okay,
a
big
cap. You will die if you put it on your hands and mouth.
I can't believe you wasted my time. I can't believe you just wasted my time, bruv.
Man, spat
Idiot,
on
bruv.
the pod
Oh, my
live.
days.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've
Bruv, my
been.
bottle's soaked,
I've been
bruv.
Fat Mouse, and I've also been Kash, aka Skash Tash. That was amazing.
Bruv, that's a joke.
Why
I
did
need
you
to clean
spit
up, man,
everywhere,
Because
bro?
I wasn't expecting that.
What
I know where you were
that?
going. Alright, cool. That's that, man.
Was it? That's the food review. What a food review, bruv.
What a review.
A lot of controversy there.
Little
a lot of drama.
controversy. Alright. Yesterday, we witnessed
Not yesterday. This weekend.
blood. It's Sunday for me. It was yesterday. This weekend, let's keep things legit. Uniform. So this weekend, we witnessed a robbery.
Wait, what
We
we started
witnessed-
with? Should we start with the UFC? Just quickly, we're gonna start with the UFC. Let me.
I
kick
didn't
it
watch
off.
it at all.
He didn't watch it.
I boycotted it because
He boycotted it because he
These
was
guys getting corona,
Tyson
I'm not
hungry,
bothered.
yeah, and rightly so because it was the return of the legend. But we'll get to that very shortly. UFC, we had this weekend we had Anthony Smith taking on Devin Clark, and it was meant to be
what?
Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis on the card.
Oh,
So I
yes.
don't know why I went blank for a second. And
It's my job usually still.
Curtis Blades pulled out due to a positive test. Tested positive for COVID-19, so we hope you recover well and
Real
you get
talk.
better soon. And hope you're staying safe. Obviously, it was unlucky and it was quite upsetting because it was a few days before the actual fight. I was really looking forward to seeing that. I wanted to see Derek Lewis. I just love watching Derek Lewis in action.
Yeah.
He's good, man. He's very entertaining. He's fun to watch.
My balls was hot.
My balls. And he comes with these mad one-liners.
Crazy.
So,
why are you removing your pants?
but it's,
My balls was hot.
yeah,
I get that.
it never happened.
I'm here with the winner, Derek Lewis. Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
But yeah, so the co-main event ended up getting bumped to the main event, which was the return of Lionheart, Anthony Smith, taking on Devin Clark. And
Also, sorry, Devin Bamba Clark.
Devin Bamba Clark. UFC Vegas 15. And it went, I think, the way that a lot of people predicted.
Yeah.
Anthony Smith's been on a losing streak. And I feel like they really wanted to give him someone.
Just feed him someone.
So you're not losing streak. He's come off a loss, but he's had out of his past 5, I think he's had like 3 losses or something.
Clark.
So, let me check that for yesterday.
He's verifying.
So yeah, he's 2-2 in his last 4,
2-2 in his last 4,
and
including yesterday.
no, excluding yesterday. So
Okay.
before this weekend's fight, he was 2-2 in his last 4. So I feel like
50-50.
a lot of people were saying on Twitter it's a bit of a mismatch. Devin Clark's a sacrificial lamb.
Ooh.
Devin's not that bad as well, so it was a bit disrespectful. And you don't know how Anthony Smith's going to come back because in his last fight he looked poor.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Alexander Rakic dominated him,
Yes.
battered him. And it was Lionheart still? Did he still have the Lionheart? And it went kind of the way we expected. I think then we get to cut to the chase. Anthony Smith won the in the first round via triangle choke, making Devin tap out. Beautiful triangle choke, had it in nice and tight. Devin tried to survive and try and get out, but it was just too tight and he couldn't. But yeah, I was surprised that it went down quickly. Within the first 12 seconds of the fight, they were onto the floor.
12 seconds they went to the floor. I thought you said it ended in 12
No, it was within a couple of minutes. The first couple of minutes, like 3 minutes.
I didn't watch any flipping
But I thought
playbacks, nothing.
Devin would have the upper hand in the grappling, especially being a better wrestler and having the background in that. But it was just, I guess, the experience and Lionheart's class in the end, which pulled him through, and he got the win, a much needed win, because if he lost this, it would have been sort of, where does he kind of go? Is he still relevant, kind of thing? So he's kept himself in the mix. Ends the year with a good win. So
It's good stuff. Well done, Mr. Lionheart. Hear me?
and
What's
yeah,
the guy he looks like again?
Red Skull.
Red Skull.
Yeah, he looks like Red Skull.
Yeah, man. But I did see one thing. I just saw him. I think it was the warm up before he went out, because Dana White says, "Oh, the fight I was telling you about next," and he looked like he was in quite good shape.
Who? Anthony Smith.
Lionheart, yeah.
I thought he was in. I don't think
He looked skinny, but he looked trim. Like he looked like understand.
I don't think he looked. I thought he looked. I don't know, man.
Why, man? I'm saying he just looked like he'd been training.
Yeah. He'd been staying fit,
Yes, keep him fit.
but he looked a bit fleshy.
yeah, man.
I don't know, man.
Fleshy.
Yeah, to me, he did.
Maybe I missed it.
At the weigh-in. Well, I don't know if he looked fleshy. He looked like he had a bit of a belly at the weigh-in, but I've seen him in better shape
I
before.
feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain.
So do I, Baba. So do I.
But yeah, man.
But we
Let's
move.
left that
We
because
move.
that's the UFC.
And we go back to the Bosking side of the world.
All right, so
we went to America. Just drag it over to the UK.
back to the UK, and then we're gonna fly back again because
we had,
we're globetrotters.
Yeah, we got unlimited P's, so we fly all around the world.
So we had Dynamite Daniel Dubois versus Joe
the
Juggernaut Joyce,
Thank.
both UK, both London-based heavyweights. There's been a what do you call it, man? Flipping
Feud
a feud
brewing.
brewing. Yeah, there's been for a long time now. There've been like the battle of the coming up fighters. Does that make sense? Yeah,
Both relatively new.
both relatively new.
Undefeated. Both very good heavyweights in their own respect, right?
Wait. Slow that down. Both perceived as good heavyweights.
No, they are.
Okay.
I think they are.
Okay.
One's been proven in the amateur ranks. Olympic silver gold medal.
Massive
Man
difference.
said Olympic silver gold. So he's in
Silver
between.
goldist?
Olympic silver medalist. Numerous amateur titles. Fought the best of the best in the amateur ranks. And quite late in his career, I mean, he turned pro, I think, in his early 30s. I think he's 35 now, 34.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is Joe Joyce. Who's undefeated as well and still relatively new in his professional career when we say coming up, but he's got all the experience behind him. Going up against Daniel Dubois, who was the perceived killer, the next sort of heir to be, the next AJ kind of thing from the UK. He's only 23 actually. He's a baby. I thought he was 21. Yeah, I was getting confused. He's a baby. He's so young in the game, especially for a heavyweight.
Yes.
Nowadays, anyways, it's unheard of to have a heavyweight that age, so dominant and quite popular as well.
Okay, yeah. I'm processing what you're saying, and I always have like an objection, and then I think, go on then.
No, but people do like him.
Yeah,
he's quite popular.
He's quite.
He was
popular.
knocking out everyone, but And then we see a real step up for Daniel Dubois in terms of class, opposition, levels, and Joe Joyce as well, to be honest. I mean, Joyce has fought fringe world title contenders and former world title challengers, and I even think didn't he fight Bermain Stavern?
Did he? He may have. I think
He was a former world
I
champion.
think he might have, but I don't know. You check that out.
I'm just double checking this. I think he fought, but Joyce has got a better record.
So, yeah. The narrative was always there's two ways this can go. If it's within the first 5 or 6 rounds, so the first half of the fight, then Dubois is going to knock him out. If it goes beyond that, then Dubois is going to gas out because he's not. He did, yeah.
So he's beat Bermain Stavern. Sorry, he's beat Bermain Stavern, Alexander Ustinov, Brighton Jennings, Michael Wallish, and then now.
Yeah, but they were saying, if it goes beyond the 6th, into kind of the latter half of the second half of the fight, then it's Joyce's territory, just because he's more experienced. Yeah. It did end up going into the second half of the fight. Round 1. So we usually watch the fights together, innit? But this time round, I was watching it from my car. Literally, I had to go run a couple missions. And I got basically called away. I was ready to watch it anyway. I had to leave, watching it from the car, parked up at the beginning of the round of round 1. And as soon as the first round ended, I texted him. I said, "What is this? What is this bullshit slow motion fight?" Like, I don't know if you lot listen to many podcasts or anything like that, yeah, but you can slow down the audio on Spotify or whatever, and even on YouTube, you can slow down the audio. Or you can speed it up. I speed it up because that helps me fly through it, innit? It was like they were fighting at 0.5. Do you understand? He was literally throwing his jab with zero effort. It was like he was just demonstrating how to throw a jab. Yeah?
Joyce.
Joe Joyce. He was demonstrating. This is his jab. But he managed somehow to make it pop. Despite how slow. It was genuinely slow. He was slipping like this. Again, it's like he's demonstrating the movement of how to throw a jab and how to slip a punch without actually doing it. That being said, so I saw that and I was like, what is this jolting slow motion fight? It's pissing me off. It's doomed. Yeah? That being said, Joe Joyce's jab, I don't know how he did it. I can't explain it because for something so slow, I'm thinking, blood, I haven't boxed for a while and I could avoid his punches. But that's different. That's the difference. Obviously, I can't. Whatever he did there, he did it well. He timed it very well. I think he just knew. Daniel Dubois' movement isn't great, although I thought it would have been a lot better than it was.
So did I.
He was just a sitting duck. And the jab wasn't coming from right, his face is coming from around here. So it was like there was less distance for it to cover, and he controlled the distance.
I think, to be fair,
I
think Daniel's similar in a sense to, opposite in terms, except, let me give you an example. Canelo, for example, yeah? Canelo's got slow feet, but very, very fast hands.
So he's the opposite.
And I thought Dubois would be completely the opposite going in. So I thought Dubois would sort of be...
Slow hands, fast feet.
Sorry, no. I thought you would...
Be like that.
Be similar to that. Yeah. Slow feet and fast hands. Which I thought would help him sort of counter what Joyce was doing. So I thought he'd be able to beat Joyce to the punch. Yeah? And you see that with Canelo's fights. When Canelo fights, he usually can out-jab anyone he fights. Usually. There's a few guys that have managed to outbox him. But since he's become this sort of number one pound-for-pound fighter and he's sort of learned, he takes bits and bobs from every fight he has and he applies it to his own game and gets better and better and better. Canelo usually beats guys to the punches. And I thought that once they exchanged, that Dubois would probably catch Joyce. I knew how good Joyce's chin is. Like his chin is, he's known for a granite chin. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
And to be honest, Dubois didn't catch it. I never saw too many flush shots. There were good shots that he landed. I didn't see any like killer shots, you know?
Yeah.
I saw good shots that could have hurt other fighters.
Yes.
Or lesser fighters could have put them down, stopped them, whatever. But someone of that caliber, that level of Joyce, you need to land flush on someone like that.
I only saw a couple, if any.
But it's an understatement to say that Joyce's chin is strong or hard or granite. His chin, like, he literally walks forward, juggernaut. He's literally a juggernaut.
Exactly.
And
crazy, man.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked with Daniel in terms of sort of just everything. He seemed off the pace. You know, there was he had spurts when he tried to get Joyce onto the ropes and he'd throw a few combinations. But that range, that control of range from Joyce, just keeping him at the jab. And even though he's so slow, Joyce, yeah, he does manage to move. Like his head movement was better than Dubois. Dubois had non-existent head movement.
Yeah.
To give Dubois credit, his footwork is better than his head work. So if that makes sense, head movement. So he can move his feet a little bit. And he can move around the ring and get himself into good positions, but there's no head movement whatsoever. And I would think it's easier said than done. But I would think once you start getting peppered with a jab continuously, constantly through the fight, you're getting peppered, and your eye starts to swell up because Joyce is only hitting the jab in one direction, and it's only banging in one spot.
Yep.
He was
targeting it though.
It was literally that eye that was going, yeah.
Which is again, it's the lead eye.
Yeah.
It's the whole body because he's
orthodox fighters together. If he was southpaw, other way around. But you'd think, but this is where the experience comes in, and someone who's at the level of a Joyce or someone who's been around the block and knows what they're doing.
Yes.
You would start to slip. Or ride the punches, or start coming in and clinching in when he's trying to, just to offset the rhythm a little bit, just to try and put him off. Because once Joyce found the rhythm and the range, he didn't miss with the jab. It was so accurate. Slow as you like, whatever. But if you keep getting hit in the same spot, again, it's like you're chopping down that tree. Yeah, that same spot, boom, 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 boom. Eventually it's going to crack and it's going to break. And what happened?
Exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened.
Got booked. Now, okay, so let's discuss the result first, and then I'll go back to the point about the jab, yeah? So, obviously, 10th round?
Yeah.
The jab just became too much for Dubois. So, again, in pockets, like Kash said, he had moments of relative magic. Compared to what he was doing, when he did have a moment, it was like it magnified it. Oh, all right, then that's all right.
Me and him didn't agree with the scorecards.
Nah, the scorecards were taking a piss.
So Joyce won a 10th round stoppage. He got a 10th round stoppage against Daniel Dubois. So Dubois took a knee, got hit with a jab. I think it was early, 30 seconds within the 10th round.
36, I think.
Yeah,
I think
36, roughly, like that. Something around that time. He got hit with a jab straight into the eye. He must have felt something go.
Apparently he broke his orbital, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that just now.
Yeah.
Which I assumed straight away because, you've been getting peppered in the same spot for the whole fight.
By a heavy hitter.
Yeah. And Joyce Joyce is a big guy, 6'5", 6'6".
Crazy.
Weighs a ton and, clearly hits hard. He's tapping him with a jab and he's bust up his eye. So he got cracked with a jab. I think eventually it just gave in, and obviously now it's been revealed that he broke an orbital bone. So we hope sort of you recover soon, because it is a very dangerous and damaging injury to have, especially so early in your career, man.
Peaking it as a heavyweight again.
In your life.
Like, yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, he's 23. So yeah, that happened, and then he took the knee, and then I think he just in his head he was like, boy, nah, I can't do this no more. He's probably panicked a little bit because he's never been in that position before. And again, people say, I think I spoke to someone about it. I can't remember who asked me last week. Does experience really play a factor in this sport?
Absolutely.
And there's small moments in fights where you wouldn't realize someone who's trained in it or watches it, like, you know, us, for example, will realize what experience does in small spurts.
Yeah.
And like when we talk about the next fight, that's experience versus experience, like wealth of it. And you'll see what one guy did to try and counter the other guy, and that's due to experience. I'm talking about Roy Jones, when, you know, all that stuff he did.
Yeah.
And here, in this kind of predicament, Dubois has basically been in guys who don't really hit back. You know?
This is exactly it.
Who don't have a pulse, for example. He's fought a few decent guys. Richard Larty was a decent guy. Nathan Gorman was a decent opponent. But, you know, he stepped up tons of levels. And the amount of disrespect that Joyce got before this fight was ridiculous.
Unbelievable. It's so unfair, bro.
It was like...
That's what happens when you hype somebody up and you just buy into the hype without actually understanding anything. Do you get me? Like, let's talk about experience. Let's talk about how somebody who is more experienced, and maybe, I don't want to say he had no heart, because this was the first time he's been tested like this. It doesn't question his heart. It doesn't question his determination. It doesn't question his attitude in terms of, I'm a warrior, I'm willing to die in the ring. Do you get me? It's not that. He got licked in the eye again and again and again and again. And he got licked in the eye by somebody who hits hard. He was negating any or most of, like, his options. He never had many options because he was kept so far away. The distance was maintained, the range was maintained, and he was still landing a jab. Number one. Number two, a harder hitter than he's used to. Bear in mind, this is somebody with no experience or limited experience. Number three, he's broken his orbital bone. Get into a fight, please, before you comment. Get into a fight. Injure yourself in that fight. Get injured and continue. Be like, yeah, I'm ready to carry on. Obviously, you've got adrenaline, and that plays a massive role.
Don't injure yourself. Punch yourself in the eye.
But like
Shank
I'm saying,
your eye and see how hard it is to fight. No, but it's
I'm
true.
saying,
people don't realize
you cannot say anything until you've been in that situation. Do you understand me? Breaking your orbital bone and you're thinking, shit, like, there's only 2 rounds left. There's only 2 rounds. Well, 3 rounds really. Yeah, fair enough. That's a quarter of the fight. Yeah, that's a long time to go. But it's only thing like people like Teddy Atlas would be like, yeah, well, you can see the end game. You live with that momentary pain. Yeah. And whatever else he calls it, that, you know, that struggle or a lifetime of regret for quitting. Blood, he's 23 years old. First time he's been tested and he got battered. It doesn't mean that he's never going to come back. He's learned so much from his eye.
Battered, but
no, he got battered as in physically.
Yeah. Okay.
Like his eye is broken, bruv. How can you have a broken eye, bruv? You can't even put a flipping sling on your eye. Do you get me? He's been tested. I don't want to say he failed because it was too much for him at this point. Everybody said, oh, this is Dubois' fight easy. Look at him, he's a big guy, big strong guy. Shut up, man. Don't know nothing. And it even affected me. I'm thinking, you know what? Joyce has got this, but the way people are moving, man, everybody's so sure. Like even all the professionals, the pros, the this, the that, they're all saying, oh, it's Dubois' fight probably. I'm like, you know what? It might just be Dubois' fight. And I was like, nah, man, get a grip, man. Do you get me? Like, have your own opinion. And I thought Joe Joyce is far more experienced. Amateurs play a massive role in building you as a fighter because you're still going to get used to, that's where you still get licked. You still get used to like adversity. He's had such a non-existent career, amateur career, that it's like, well, what's the point? You can't really, you shouldn't really go pro. Does that make sense? I don't want to, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be. He's done a great job. Yeah. But I'm saying you've gone pro now without the basis, without the fundamentals, the foundations. When you build a house, you put foundations first, innit? That's the amateur ranks. That's the amateur experience. I know people that's had 60, 70 fights and they're still just about turning pro. Do you get me? You need that. You need that experience under your belt. And this is the difference. Because big ass people hit hard. Flipping small ass people hit hard. I've sparred with someone who's 63 kilo. 63 kilos. He's ripped me to the belly. And I've been like, whoa, that's painful. Like, that's mad. 63 kilograms. Okay, he's probably 73 at the time, but still, that's still, compared to me, I'm 100 and flip. Right now, I'm 120 probably. Do you get me? So, these guys, they hit hard. It's what they do day in, day out. They work on this. You have to be ready to experience that and get ready to have to deal with it. So I think it was massive lack of experience. I'm sorry to take over, bruv.
No, it's fine. I'm waiting. I'm giving you. I want you to speak about it because it's
something. Tell me you're giving me permission to talk.
I'm giving you permission to be on my show.
But it's like I don't like what was it David Hay? No, it wasn't David Hay. It
Carl
was
Frampton.
Carl Frampton and the other guy was. It was David Hay, innit? It wasn't the Scouse. It was David Hay. And Carl Frampton, they both said, yeah, nah, listen, call it what you want to call it. He checked out. He took a knee. He gave up. He this and that. Okay, he did. He absolutely did. But you can't really knock him for that. It's a learning curve. He could have firmed it all the way to the end and gone blind. He could have, like, this is his first time experiencing it. He'll know now. Listen, this is what you do.
Can I say something?
Go for it, sorry.
No, it's fine, and it's true exactly what you're saying. I agree with it. I think it's I think it really depends on the type of injury you sustain in a fight.
Absolutely.
Like, it could be your first time enduring it, or it could be your 10th time enduring it. Once you've experienced it, I believe it probably gets worse if it's the same injury. For example, Kell Brook.
Go on, good.
Yeah. Kell Brook had it for the first time. So Kell Brook fought Gennady Golovkin, yeah? Crazy fight, probably should never have taken it in hindsight. But if he had won, we probably would have said it's the greatest victory ever.
Yeah.
From a British fighter.
Yep.
And he took it, he did well for a couple of rounds, and then his orbital bone got smashed in, and he broke his eye socket, basically.
Yes, mad.
People do not understand, breaking your eye socket is serious. You can go permanently blind.
Yeah.
And come on. Me and him had this argument about it last week about would you want to die in the ring, whatnot, blah blah blah.
Bullshit.
And I said fighters all know going into the fight that they could die, and I think most of them are happy with it and content with it because they know it's a reality. Yeah. But different fighters react different to certain situations. It's human nature, fight or flight. Yeah, for example. And again, like Mal said, when you're in that situation, you can't comment until you're in that situation. So if you go in and you dislocate your shoulder, for example, your lead arm, if you're confident enough and you've got the capabilities to fight from the opposite stance and fight off your backhand, then you can do that. If you injure your foot, for example, David Hay versus Tony Bellew, snapped his Achilles in the 5th or 4th round, 6th round, whatever, fought on for another 4 or 5 rounds, eventually towel came in, but he managed to push it. In hindsight, should he have done that?
For him? Exactly. Thank you.
I was just about to say that. Did it? No, he didn't win the fight. It made him look a bit tougher in the eyes of people, but I probably think it affected his foot. Because in the next fight, he came in a year later, not December when it was meant to happen. He went all the way until the next March or May, whatever. And his foot looked very funny.
Mad.
It looked super suspect.
It was so flat and just sticks out. It was mad.
It's like my ankle. Like my ankle's mash up.
Right.
And you've seen the way I stand on it.
It's mad.
And you think as you get used to injuries or you learn to adapt, sometimes there's an injury which you just cannot physically recover from.
Mm-hmm.
And from everyone I spoke to and things I've read online and seen online, snapping your orbital bone is one of them ones that's going to fuck you over for the rest of your career. I hope it doesn't. But again, we go back to that Kell Brook example. The very next fight he fought, yeah, and it is so unlucky, man. He's so peak.
So
he fought Errol Spence Jr., the best welterweight in the world. Defended his title. I rate him for taking it. Moved up to middleweight, came down back to welterweight. There's 2 divisions.
Yeah.
Probably the weight drained him a little bit, going up and down so fast. Whatever it was. He went in and then broke his other eye socket.
Like,
Madness, absolute madness. How unlucky could a man be? Yeah, to back-to-back fights and the same way. But in that Golovkin fight, his eye was bookered. He fought on a little bit before it got too much for him to even see, and then it got stopped. But he actually tried for, I think it was for like a round or two.
Because he's a warrior. His experience dictated or told him to carry on, because you push through, you might come through.
Yeah.
But he lacked the experience of a broken orbital bone, obviously. So you don't realize how badly it's going to batter you as you progress. And he doesn't know what happened to me. The next fight, he knew, oh shit, I think I've broken yet another one. I'm going to have to just, you get me, take a step back.
Did you say PTSD?
Yeah,
when he fought Crawford?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's a real thing. Like, it can affect you at any given moment.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And in that Crawford fight where Brooke had, when he got hit with that punch, again, he's taken heavier licks from Errol Spence, from Golovkin. I've seen him buzzed. That wasn't one of them punches that puts a man out. No. But again, he was a deer in the headlights. He was like, and I feel flashbacks.
Did we find out if his eye broke in the end anyway?
I don't think it broke in the end, but I feel like he probably, I think that's what it was.
Of course.
And I think these things affect you. So to say he's a quitter, to sort of give this guy, he's 23 years old, undefeated. And if he had won, you man are the same guys that would have been on the bandwagon saying he's going to be the next AJ, he's going to be world champion. Like, I'm seeing people say, no, he's a bum, he's not that good, he was never that good. And I'm like, bro, give the kid his respect, bruv. Like, just because someone loses doesn't make them shit. This is the thing about boxing, and it's what Mayweather did. Mayweather improved and sort of fucked up the sport in the sense that these fighters are too afraid to get rid of their O's, and the fans, especially casuals, when's the last time he lost? Has he ever lost? When's like the loss means anything? One of the best fighters of our generation, Manny Pacquiao, has 7 losses. Can't remember, 6, 7, 8. He's got numerous losses. But do people say he's one of the worst fighters ever? Are you insane? This guy, Beetlejuice or not, destroyed people for a living.
Mad.
Yeah? Not everyone's a Mayweather. Not everyone's going to stay with that And it's just mad how fickle some fans can be, because it's not fair, the criticism he's getting. In the moment, I was like, damn, man, maybe he could fight on. But when you look back at it, and now you've seen that he broke his orbital bone, bro, if he couldn't avoid that jab for 10 rounds, what made you think that he could have carried on for those extra 2 after it had broke? Because that's the point it broke. It didn't break before that, because he carried on fighting. Yeah. That's the point it broke, because I said it to I was watching it with Danny, and I said it to Danny, and Danny was like, bro, he quit, man. He quit. Why did he do that? And I said to him straight away, I think he popped his eye. I think his eye socket's gone. That's what I thought. Because no one, if you've been getting hit so consistently throughout the fight,
you're used to it now.
You're used to it.
Yeah, it's closing up. You can't see out of it. That's different. Because what that would do is like, okay, I can't see out this eye. Then he'll start to take a lot more damage because he doesn't see them coming. But this one was it a jab? It was a jab to the eye.
Yeah.
A jab to the eye. Yet another one of 100 or however many were landed. Do you get me?
So it didn't make any difference in that perspective. So that one was the one that caused the ultimate damage, and he'd never felt that before.
Yes.
He'd probably never been through that.
And he's thinking, I've received all these jabs. This one's very, very different. Something's up.
Yeah.
You can't blame him.
Yeah. A bit of panic comes in. It's happened to me when I felt a certain type of injury, or I felt certain sick, or, I'll be like, I'll start panicking. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is this?
Turn off the AC, if you don't mind, just for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah. And that's probably what happened. And he took the knee and he lives to fight another day. This whole old school mentality, which I do love, and I love when fighters go on and go on. But again, I think it really depends on the type of injury sustained. You break your hand,
keep going. You can
go with that.
Light.
You can go with
shoulder that. Light, as in like a dislocated shoulder. Knees, don't mess with them. Do you understand? It depends on the situation. Like, okay, Roy Jones, we're gonna come to me. He's beating people with a fractured wrist, with a broken wrist. He's still won. Do you get me? He carried on, but then that's an injury you don't need both hands. You could win a fight with just footwork. Do you see what I'm trying to say? An eye, Bruv, are you crazy? That is not just how you're gonna win or lose the fight, or whether you're gonna win or lose the fight. That's whether you're gonna win or lose at life. You'll lose the sight. You lose the sight of the eye. Then what? Was it worth it? He's a champion. Well done. Shut up. I want to see my flipping medals and my trophies and my belts. Do you get me? Not like, okay, I'm a champion, but I'm legally blind. Like, shut up, bruv. And just
We go back to the sort of the Ali era, yeah, where those heavyweights who took so much damage in those times, yeah. Look at all of them. You know, for the ones that are still alive, you know, they can't talk properly.
Yeah.
They've all got some sort of.
They're bookered.
They're all suffering from some sort of, you know, problem, and that's from taking too much punishment. It's really that simple. It comes down to that. What Mouse just said about the eye, and you need it to fight. Not always.
What?
No, I'm talking about you can fight with one eye, but if you break an orbital bone, you can't. You shouldn't fight.
When I say you can fight with, I'm saying
it's very essential.
When your eye is injured, I'm saying when your eye is injured, it's not one you can continue with. Do you get me? When you've broken an orbital or whatever it is, if you think, "Rah, this is not normal," because he can feel it, we can't. If you feel that like if you feel, "Oh, my hand feels a bit mad," that's not normal. All right, cool, but that's your hand. You can see the fight to the end.
No, I'm talking about
you can't because
no, that's what I'm saying.
You might end up blind. That's what I'm
injured. Yeah, I'm saying I'm talking about.
Fight, you can't.
No, I'm talking about when it's fully swollen or something.
No, that's minor.
You can get away with it. Yeah,
done with it.
Like Chris Algieri when he fought Provodnikov.
Yeah,
his whole eye was shut, and that was shutting from round 1.
Crazy.
From round 1, I remember he got clocked with that left hook, and he just started pouring at the eye straight away. Yeah. And I remember seeing it swell up, and I was like, "Damn,
yeah, bro,
this is gonna cause him a problem." He's a huge underdog as well, and Ruslan is just that animal, just that, you know, he's known for being a Siberian Rocky, come forward and attack you. But Algieri used his capabilities and the skills that he possessed, which was to keep him at range, pop him with a jab, and just keep moving away, trying to block up, trying to cover that eye. It started to swell up, and I think by 8-9 it was fully closed, purple, juicy, looked like a fat steak. Yeah, but he had the know-how, the experience. I guess he'd been in 20 sort of fights before that.
Yeah.
He'd been kickboxing champion before that, so he knows his way around the ring. To be able to sort of deal with that kind of injury. I know he didn't break an orbital bone. I don't think he did anyway. But it's just, but again, it depends. It just really depends.
Not being able to see out your eye is one thing. Not being able to ever see out your eye again is
another thing. Yeah,
the risk of that.
And do you get me? And again,
so man,
Dubois never been in that situation before.
I don't know if he said anything. Did he speak in a post fight or anything like that?
In the post fight he spoke, and he just said he just basically sort of said it is what it is, and Joe was the better man, kind of thing. He didn't.
Yes, he did. Sorry,
it was more of, you know, they asked him about the taking the knee and what happened. He didn't really want to talk about it too much. He sort of just tried to say, "Listen, I couldn't see." I don't think he knew at the time, obviously, what had happened to himself. But he'll come back. He's 23 years old. He will definitely come back. Do not underestimate. Some guys come back from a loss better than they were before. It makes some people better. Yeah?
No, absolutely. It should make everyone better. For some people, it doesn't work, but that's just because they're dead. But when you...
It depends on your mentality, I think.
Yeah, it does depend on your mentality. Again, I actually wanted to say, probably the best person to ever take a loss is Canelo, because he's not lost since then. I know he's your boy and you're smiling, but I didn't think
you were going to say that. I think you were going to say someone else.
Who?
No, I just thought you were going to say someone else.
No, it's Canelo, because obviously he was good pre-Mayweather. He fought well against Mayweather. He has evolved after Mayweather. Like post Mayweather.
Smiling so much.
You're back, yeah. So then
you guys.
Do you understand? So that loss there has completely molded him. He's like, listen, I don't want to taste loss again. I don't want to taste failure again. I have learned better. I fought the best. And he's actually put into practice what he's learned, what he picked up from that loss, and what he picked up from his opponent. So that's some Ryu Ken Street Fighter shit. Do you get me? So I rate that, man. I rate that a lot. But yeah, Dubois, unlucky, man. I wanted Joyce to win. He did win. I thought he was going to win anyway. And that's what happened. Dubois, well done, man. Don't worry about what people say.
See Frank Warren, bro. How pissed he was. Frank Warren was so... And this is what happens, yeah? This happened with Kell Brook. Your promoter feeds you to the Lions for the money. And if it doesn't work out, you could end up regretting it.
Yeah.
Kell Brook's career could have been mad different. Yeah. And I've been a Khan fan for time, but I've always... when you see a good fighter, you have to respect it. And I knew Kell Brook was very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah, and you could say, did Khan duck him, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. You can go into the intricacies and check certain things and what he said and she said. From the outset, it did kind of look like Khan didn't really want that fight. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. We could talk about that separately. I've seen a lot of stick for Eddie Hearn in terms of how he dealt with and handled Kell Brook's career. Do you make someone move up to middleweight to fight a killer when you're a 147-pound fighter? Depends on you as a fighter. Some guys can do it, some guys can't. He did it. All right, cool, he did it. Then do you really feed him to the next best thing in his very next fight, coming back from an orbital injury? You know, it is mad. And these kind of small things that you think will work out in your favor or which are money grabs, which you could say, could affect you long term. And Brook, after that Golovkin fight and Spence fight, never been the same.
That's it.
He's been very good and he will beat certain guys, very good guys. But that level he was at after Porter and eventually climbing. You know, sometimes you have to think to yourself, is the fighter's health more important? Sorry, is the money that I'm going to make and the revenue and the income we're going to get worth more than the fighter's health? It's hard at the moment because you see the dollar signs, you see the pound signs, you see the millions you're going to get. And then you think to yourself, you sell yourself a dream. You have to be realistic with it. Yeah. And realistically, was Kell Brook going to beat Gennady Golovkin? No.
He must have had some sort of belief, though. Or do you reckon he went in there thinking, I'm going to get mashed up?
Who, Kell Brook?
Yeah.
Well, no, Brook probably didn't. But Eddie Hearn probably knew deep down.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn's a real guy. Like, he doesn't lie about these things. Like, he doesn't lie. He's a salesman. I can't ever, when someone's shotting something to you, they're going to waffle, regardless of what it is. It could be a £10 microwave. They're going to sell that £10 microwave to be the best microwave in the world. Better than anything else, any other product. Because it's what they're selling. They're trying to they're trying to deliver their product to the world, to the consumer. We are the consumer. So yeah, Frank Warren, on the other hand, I feel like Frank said he didn't want to take this fight so soon anyway, but felt like he had to because the fans wanted to see it and whatnot. To me, that sounds like a money grab, bro. I didn't see too many fans clamoring for this fight.
Yeah.
And I am all over social media. I am up to date with boxing news left, right and center. Yeah. It's true. I'm not trying to say it in a cocky weird way, but like I keep up to date with it. And I didn't see a lot of people saying, I didn't see millions of people, like Frank said, clamoring for the Dubois Joyce fight. You know, I get there too. I guess it made sense in that sense. But could you not have waited a couple more fights for Dubois? Yes. Joyce wasn't going anywhere. Joyce is 35.
For real?
Joyce needs that kind of fight to build his career. There was no one else Joyce was going to be able to fight to actually put him on that level. There's a couple of American guys who could go fight in that, but would it have happened with COVID and that? I don't know. So it's kind of one of them things that I think Frank may live to regret that, because this was his next big star. You know, Frank hasn't had a lot of guys. Had a lot of luck recent years with his guys, and his last big guy was who was his last big guy that he had? I mean, he's got Tyson Fury now, but like Tyson's on this weird contract, so he's not even really a Frank Warren fighter. Josh Warrington.
So you're thinking of?
Yeah, I think Josh Warrington's still with Frank Warren.
Frank Warrington.
Is he still with him? No, former promoter, yeah.
No, even Josh isn't.
Josh Warrington says he'll always be grateful for the efforts of former. Yeah, just that's what I'm saying. Josh Warrington was his last big, good fighter. And Josh Warrington since then has gone to Eddie Hearn at Matchroom. So, you know, there has to be a certain way to deal with these kind of fighters, and especially young guys, you know. You can't rush them into super fights. It's a risky business, and it could end up costing, you know, those millions that he wanted now could have cost him tens of more millions going forward. Let's see how Dubois bounces back. I feel like he's hungry enough. He stays fit. He's always in the gym.
He'll come back.
And I hope for his sake and for British boxing in general.
Yes.
For the heavyweight scene, it's good to see someone so young in these kind of fights.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's very true.
Because heavyweight division's always been sort of ruled by the Americans, to be honest. The Americans and for a small part of the European side, Eastern European and and Russia, etc., have dominated it, you know?
Yeah.
Povetkin, Pulev, Klitschko brothers.
That's true.
They've been in and around, always been up the top for that certain time, and now we've got AJ, Fury, Dubois, Joyce. It's a good time to be a heavyweight in
It's a
Britain.
good time to be alive. You know, I get that completely, man. But yeah, I think it's just one of them ones that time's gonna tell if my man, you know, if Dubois can learn from it. If he did, then taking a knee was probably a good thing. I know, as controversial as that might sound, but it's probably a good thing, and it's better for him. But yeah, man, well done to Joe Joyce. He called out Usyk.
Where are you, Usyk?
That was Joe.
Usyk.
Where does Big Joe go now?
He's in the driving seat, isn't he? That's where he goes now, and he goes for a big
Usyk.
2021.
Usyk, I'm ready for you, Usyk. A rematch with Alexander Usyk.
He's not a funny guy. No, he's a funny guy, but he's a lifeless guy. Do you get me?
He's just normal, just chill. Like, he doesn't talk much.
Yeah,
he just
talk at all, bro.
I always feel like he's in his own world, his own bubble. Like I feel like he just
he's
you know
he
when
lives in his own mind. And
yeah,
that's it.
like just got waterfall going through your brain, like nothing going through. Just
That's mad, bruv. But yeah, he called out
Empty.
Usyk. I don't think that's a wise call out.
I think it is.
Matchup.
I think it is, bro. I like that fight.
I don't think he will be able to touch Usyk because at least Chisora throws with a bit more speed. Yeah?
It's mad.
At least Chisora throws a bit more speed. Bro, I can avoid these punches. Okay, Dubois couldn't.
I feel like it makes sense,
I
that
could
fight.
really avoid these punches. So how the hell do you think this giant ballerina will not just dance around you? Do you get me? And pepper you with his own fast jabs and his
I think
his
it's a good
combos
fight, man.
that will just slowly break you down and either
Excuse me.
make you make the you know, get you stopped. I don't think he'll ever get knocked out by Usyk, but I think it could become a stoppage or obviously just batter him on points.
Do you know why I feel like it's a good fight?
Why do you think it's a good fight?
Because whoever wins that basically cannot be denied a heavyweight title fight.
What? Why is that?
Because if Usyk goes from beating Chisora and then Joe Joyce, who's undefeated, 6'6",
Yeah, I'm proven undefeated, bruv.
doesn't matter, bro. Right now, we have to look at it in terms of in perspective of now.
Okay.
And apart from Deontay Wilder and Dillian White, there is literally no one else who I feel could clamour for a world title fight in realistic terms, yeah? Who's, in an ideal world, the best fighters fight the best, regardless of fame and followers and Twitter and all this stuff. But apart from Usyk and Joe Joyce right now, has got a bit more clout now from beating Dubois.
Yeah.
Who else could you really throw in there? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Usyk's got probably the most following out of the other guys.
That's true.
And he's the biggest draw.
Okay.
Then you move on to Joyce, who's another.
So you're talking about a good fight as in what can come of it. I'm talking about him going in the fight. I don't think he has much of a chance at all. That's what I'm trying to say. I see what you're trying to say. Like, it's a good fight to make. Yes. Will it sell? Yes. Is it gonna?
I feel
attract enough attention.
I feel I've made the mistake too many times of thinking that fight's not going to be competitive.
Every fight you get into now at professional level is competitive. Let's be
Nah,
serious.
not
I'll
all
tell
of
you
them.
why. Let's talk about
Not all of them.
let's talk about what's his name yesterday. Bruv, man. I just can't think of names, man.
What are you talking about boxing?
Badou Jack versus, what was the guy's name?
Oh, Blake McKernon.
Blake McKernon. Now, speaking of competitive fights, that was on paper a complete mismatch. It was, as he put it, a more of an exhibition for him as well. This is Badou Jack, the flipping. Run us his credentials. I know you know everything he ever did.
Are we switching over now?
We are switching over. We run out of time anyway.
All right, cool.
Sorry, what did you want to cover? Something? Do you want to say something else?
No. Just Usyk and Joyce. I think is a good fight to make.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now.
So we'll move over to the United States of America.
Oh, you like structure, innit? I like just to flow the thing because when you just say, we'll move over to America now, and now let's
we're
talk
catching
about
a flight
this.
to America now. We're going back.
Bruv, just let the thing flow seamlessly, and you get me. But yeah.
And we'll go to that.
He's
card
using his strong hand
in America.
I better use my strong hand.
And we had the return of Iron Mike Tyson going up
Why are you
against
talking about that now?
Roy Jones Jr. That was the main event on the card.
Okay.
It was on Triller.
Triller.
We had commentary team of Marorotalo, Delaltasanya, and Snoop Dogg. And on the undercard, we had we'll talk about 3 of the fights. We had Badou Jack going up against Blake McKernon. And what Mouse was just about to say was Badou Jack, former world champion at 168 pounds, former world champion at 175 pounds.
Now with the knowledge.
TMT fighter. Probably was one of the top 2-3 super middleweights and light heavyweights in the world at the time. Been in there against everybody, faced the likes of George Groves, James DeGale, Jean Pascal, Andre Durrell, Anthony Durrell, I believe it is. And he's been in wars. Some he's won, some he's lost, some he's drawn. Majority of the fights he gets shagged in. Like some of them, Badou Jack never got the credit he deserved. He's a very, very good fighter. Someone who does everything very well.
Yes.
A well-rounded fighter.
Correct.
Has a solid defense, decent enough pop in his punches, decent speed, good head movement, good foot movement. Very, very well-rounded. Does the fundamentals very, very good, and he's just so strong and tough. Comes forward, not afraid to bang with you, and sometimes will just go, do his thing. So he went up against undefeated, not relatively unknown, very unknown Blake McKernon. I think Blake was 13-0 with 6 knockouts before yesterday.
Again, this weekend. Means nothing to me, bruv. And O means nothing to me.
But it shows you in it that he knows how to win. Yeah?
Yes.
He's been in there and he knows how to get the job done.
Yes.
I believe in his last fight he got knocked down in the 12th round, which is mad. If that is true, if I remember correctly, that's what I heard on the broadcast. I don't know anything about Blake McKernon. All I know is what we picked up on during the fight is his little background story, which is really nice. It's cute. What was it again? That he's
single father, raises his son by himself, homeschools him, and he's in the army.
Former military.
He's former military.
Yeah, so he's had you could tell he's a man of structure and discipline and sort of and he came in phenomenal shape, man.
What a tough
animal.
Man.
He looks like a villain or a bad guy from like but he's not a bad guy at all. But he looks like just a raw, just that typical skinhead, bare tat, wham.
Racist even. Nah, I'm joking.
No, he just looks and good heart though. From what I've seen of him and I've seen him speak in interviews.
A warrior though. Okay, so we know. Okay, where do we begin?
Badou Jack won a unanimous decision.
There you go. Thank you. The whole time I'm trying to think of the name. Why unanimous decision? It was an 8-rounder, 10 rounds, 8. I think it was
8 rounds.
8-rounder. He probably won. I didn't check, but he probably won every single round with relative ease.
I think he did.
With ease, not even with relative ease. Now, Badou Jack isn't known to be a finisher. He doesn't punch super heavy, but what he does do is he picks his punches to near perfection. Yeah? He what's the word, man? He executed an assault on the guy's body. He ripped to his body at will. And it was never just a body punch. No, it was, jabs to the body. It was jabs to the head with uppercut to the body. That just comes so fluid, like so beautiful. You don't expect it. I was even more impressed. I think it was easy for one to appreciate Badou Jack's ability. It always happens when we're here, bruv. Badou Jack's ability, it was easy to appreciate it because of how well he fought yesterday or on the weekend. Now, with this guy, yes, unbeaten, but also yes, not an amazing elite fighter. Badou Jack is an elite fighter. But I really like, whilst I said, wow, why is he not taking him out? That's testament to whatever his name is, McKernon, because he just was not trying to see himself, hit the canvas, the ref get involved. He was not letting it happen. And rightly so. He did so well to stay in that fight. Yeah? So well done. But flipping hell, man. Dubois, what's his name? Badou Jack. What? Honestly, if he had a bit more power, I would say he is very close to a perfect fighter. I think his defense is very, very good.
It's amazing.
Not elusive defense. He's not elusive.
No, he sees
things coming.
Yeah,
he understands. If I throw this is what's probably going to happen. Yes. So it was like the Matrix. I really thought this guy is just like, I've been a fan. I've always rated him, but I never ever, like, even as I'm speaking, I'm getting more and more ratings for the guy. He'll throw punches and then he'll understand, okay, so this is what can come next. Let me prepare for that.
We can't get carried away though. I'm not trying to say it in a rude way. We both rate him highly and we were like, he looks sharp.
Yeah, but he's
you got to see it in context. He did fight someone
in context
of a very different caliber to who he's usually fought. We've seen him against some guys who are elite, and he's come up short or he's come stuck.
Yeah.
Unstuck. Is it unstuck?
Unstuck.
Come unstuck, sorry.
What? Yeah, I don't know.
It is unstuck, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's come unstuck. And then we see him against Blake and he shows us how good he really is. Badou Jack's good. He's 37 years old. So he's not a spring chicken.
No, he's not.
So we'll see where he goes from here. But again, this was for his charity. He didn't really take it.
The Badou Jack Foundation, guys.
Serious.
At Badou Jack Foundation.
Badou
Good
Jack
man,
Foundation.
This guy, man, that's what I'm saying. He's a charitable guy. He's a man of flipping principles and morals, and he's a flipping animal in the ring as well. Like, you have to just
congratulations, Badou, on a good performance.
He might not be a super strong finisher, but yeah, his volume is what makes me applaud the guy. But more so his accuracy, man, his punch placement.
Body shots,
beautiful
And body
stuff.
shots were so beautiful.
They weren't super powerful.
Sorry,
he was close to giving up.
You were gonna say something previously when we were talking about Usyk and Joyce, and then I cut you off, and we ended up going to this.
Yeah, well,
but it was to do with Badou and Blake.
You were trying to remind me? I can't remember.
But mismatches. You said something. They're meant to be mismatches on paper, but they end up.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it should have been a blowout, and it was a blowout. But the guy McKernon or whatever, McCormick or whatever his name is, McGregor. He just refused to be seen out, basically. Do you understand? So
it's that. I think it's that for him. It's that military mindset.
It is. It's that military mindset. They go through hell, man. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep it moving because I don't want to
listen. And then we talk about the next quick fight. We'll talk about was
YouTube sensation.
Jake Paul,
60 billion followers. He's got more followers than there are people on earth.
60 billion followers. Jake, the problem child, Paul, took on his arch rival nemesis, Nate Robinson, former 3-time slam dunk champion from the NBA. Like, wow. And
what a joke, bro. What a joke.
NBA veteran, 36-year-old Nate Robinson, trying and aiming to become the greatest athlete the world has ever seen.
Yeah, never, bro.
Went in there after a year of training against Jake Paul, who'd also been training. Jake's already had one fight, which was on the DAZN card. Was it this year? At the beginning of this year?
Must have been this year. Oh, I
think it was January.
Yeah, I think it was
against a Nissan Gibb, and he blew him out in a round or something or two.
Yeah.
He's taken on the second fight, and Jake Paul viciously knocked out Nate Robinson in round 2. Vicious knockout.
Yeah.
It was.
Sorry.
It was. I don't want to say it was.
It was a farce. No, it was. Let's be serious, okay? I understand it generated money. I understand it's like, you know what, it's good for the sport because, like they were saying, with the first time it happened when what's his name?
Logan and KSI.
Yeah, but what was the guy's name?
Joella.
No, man.
What are you talking about? YouTube fights?
Not the Gypsy King. He's Bredgen. He was on the undercard. Bruv, you know I'm really shit with names. The guy whose son punched Willie on
Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe, man, flipping hell. I have a problem with producing names. Billy Joe Saunders, when he was on the undercard of the main event, that was a joke thing, that was like basically unprofessional boxers or people that weren't professionals. It was like their rationale was, look, man, it's putting eyes on the game. It's putting eyes on the sport that were never there before. These guys, if 10% of them are converted into fans, then we've got 10% more. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's like taking a flipping prostitute onto the catwalk and be like, oh, now, I mean, you
attract more eyes.
You can attract more eyes. Now you can get all the brothel users coming into the catwalk. Like, it doesn't make sense. Do you get me?
That's a mad.
I just couldn't think of anything.
That's a weird way to put it.
I'm really weird at doing stuff like that.
The thing is, yeah, I hear what he's saying as well. I agree and I disagree, because in a purist aspect, it's upsetting to see these guys who have never fought before, really only trained for half a year or a year, like, you know,
this is
walk in.
This is it.
And
turn it into a charity white collar event, not a flipping main event pay-per-view. Like, do you understand?
It's mad because there are guys who
or do all of that. Sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry. Do all of that. Make it a pay-per-view. Make it a professional thing. But make sure that we don't get carried away and think this is, he's going places.
The future.
He's not the future of boxing. He goes, I got a whole bunch of people on my list.
But let's talk about the fight before we get there.
Sorry.
Just tell them what happened. You saw.
So, okay, I'm going to break it down slightly.
There's nothing to break down. There's nothing to break down.
Robinson came in with anger, and he's just a very, very rough around the edges. Not even rough around the edges. Just rough everywhere.
Can't box.
Can't fight. Cannot box. He's running in shoulder first. He literally charging in like he was actually sprinting into the middle of the ring at times.
And he's playing NFL.
Fool. What a fool. So every time he hit the deck, he got, by the way, he hit the canvas how many times? At least 3 times. Okay, 3 times.
Twice before he got slept.
Single time he was face first. Why? Because he was charging in. And just on a sort of a counter or anticipation of his charge, what's the guy's name? Jake Paul would lick him and he'd hit the floor. He was never thrown back. He was never against the ropes. Like, he was never like, he never fell into the ropes. It was every time he was just charging in open and overly aggressive and overly eager. And he just got basically humbled with a punch, with a little counter hook. All it takes is something small. The first one didn't actually, it was almost a slip. It wasn't, but it was almost a slip. Because all you had to do,
touch him.
When you're parrying, you had to touch him. When you're parrying a punch, you're not meant to slap it down in it. You just literally tap it to move it out of his root in it. So his head in here, you're just moving it out of the way.
Yeah.
You're not doing no mad slap down. It didn't have to be. It just had to be a little move out of the way.
And he would have gone down. And that's what happened.
He went down twice like that, and then the third one,
he got caught. Round 2.
Round 2. Bro, I didn't even pay attention. Second round, he came in again, all this stupid aggression and stupidity, and he's in the air. He's throwing punches, both feet off the ground. Everything's completely wrong. You're not Prince Nassim to be doing these kind of things. You're just a hot-headed, angry, eager to prove a point fool who couldn't keep his cool. Anyway, I'm so sorry if I'm disrespecting anybody, but that's how I viewed it. It was a bit of a disrespect to us to make us watch it. And then, yeah, he did it again. Jake Paul did. It
was a nice right hand. I think it was
nice. Yeah,
he was a step back.
I'm only assuming it's a hook. Yeah, I'm only assuming it's a hook because that's what makes sense in that situation where the guy's leaning in. It's a hook because it's nice, short and sharp.
You talk about carrying,
and he landed flat on his face, much like Pacquiao did, with no disrespect to Pacquiao to compare. Yeah, but he landed and he was just out cold.
He's trying to get Mamma Mia, the problem child, proving to be a big problem for Nate Robinson. My
goodness.
And of course,
call the ambulance, pick up the people.
Flat, dead. I missed it. Just watch it and tell me. Yeah. He's walking back. It's a nice little right hook just to put him to sleep. And he's on the floor cold. Was he actually knocked out cold? I'm not certain.
So at the time I watched it, when I watched it in live, I thought he was playing.
Yeah, Kash was like,
not playing for the cameras, but I didn't think he was out cold.
He wanted to fool everyone into thinking he was out cold because
he didn't want it no more. I didn't think he wanted the smoke, and he thought to himself, "Yo, this guy's knocked me down every time he's hit me." Basically,
yes,
I'm not on it.
And exactly the same way as well.
But then I watched it again, and I was like, maybe he is out cold. But I don't think he was out cold, but I think he was knocked out.
He's just not.
There's a difference to being out and then there's a being out where you do not move.
Because you know what's mad, yeah? When you're out cold like that, they'll flip you over and you're just a heavy sack. This guy was like helping him move him over. Do you understand? You know when you're sleeping?
Yeah.
When you think sleeping and someone try, you get me?
You're trying to wake someone up, but you're pretending to be asleep so they leave you alone, kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. He just wanted everyone to watch what he was doing.
He didn't know what to do, so he went along with it, and he just kind of moved and made it easy for them to move. So maybe he was slightly.
Regardless of that, he whether he was out cold, he was out, whatever it was.
Yeah. Let me just check the time.
It was a poor performance in general, and he probably should have not taken the fight. But again, it's about P, I guess, at the end of the day. And then, like you touched space on quickly, Jake Paul ended up sort of calling out Conor McGregor, Dylan Dennis, even said Logan Paul, his own brother,
and KSI.
So
just a joke thing. He's got a long list. He wants to take his career seriously. I'm going to call out 4 people that don't box. It's a joke thing, man. Anyway,
but he's serious about the McGregor fight.
While we're on the topic of joke things, okay, and it's with a heavy heart that I even say it like this. But
it wasn't that bad though. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. For them to actually,
Tyson took on Roy Jones Jr.
I think you're too harsh, bro.
Sorry, man. In a heavyweight exhibition, 8 rounds,
2 minutes,
2 minutes
per round,
60 minutes of total fight time. Where in the end, so Tyson's 54, Roy Jones is 51. This fight should have happened 16 years ago. They would have been both prime.
17? 16, 17 when he called him out.
Something like that, yeah.
2003, 17 years ago.
Mad. But it never happened until now. Tyson hasn't fought for 15 years. Roy Jones hasn't fought for 3 years. Yeah. Okay, Tyson came in phenomenal shape.
They both came in good shape.
Not so much. No, not as much. Roy Jones not as much as Tyson. Tyson took it seriously. Roy Jones just probably after a payday. Let's be serious.
You don't think? I thought he was in good shape for his age. In
good shape for his age. He's younger. Why is he not in better shape than Mike Tyson?
I think that's his body type.
Body type? Do you not know? Have you not seen this guy's physique in his prime?
Yeah, but he's not the same. Like they change, bro.
I don't know, man.
I thought he was in decent. That's me.
He was in decent shape.
I thought he was in.
But like, if you're gonna take it, Tyson really needed this for his life. Like I was saying, when I get to that age, I would love to do something like that where I have this sort of reignition of whatever that is in my soul. Do you get me? Because he really took it seriously. Yes, I'm pretty damn certain he had a bit of help to get him there. Do you understand? I'm talking about drugs and whatnot. So he was probably using PEDs. And what? Like I said this on the other episodes. I don't care. I'm actually happy for the guy. But it's just not like I wasn't here for this, man. I rather than talk about the fight, I actually wanted to say what happened and what I made of it. It was a joke. The end of the fight, the judges, who were not actually judges, they were previous champions, they were former champions, they declared it a draw, obviously. Yeah. Because no, there's no loser in this. We're both winners. One of us made 10 mil.
So there was not actually official result, but the WBC, so Mauricio Suleiman had 3 former champions in there as judges to give their verdict on the fight.
Our apologies for that. What's happened is this doesn't work no more. The microphone is cut off. It stopped working. Lucky we found out because we would have just carried on talking shit and nobody would have heard anything.
But yeah. So please bear with us. We're gonna wrap up the video now anyway. We're not too long left. So the audio level will be different.
It's gonna it's gonna sound a bit mad, but it's weird because it was right in the middle. I don't even know exactly what we were talking about. You were talking about Tyson doing this for charity.
Correct. Yeah. It was just that. It was just to say that he said it in the post-fight press conferences that everything during his career was about him. He was very selfish.
Yes. And
since he's obviously found God and he's become a family man, his wife and kids and whatnot, so everything was money, cars, girls, money, cars, girls. And he said, I didn't give anything back. So the least I can do now, whilst I'm in better shape and I'm fit and I've got my faculties still here, is have these little exhibitions against former fighters. He said even if someone does challenge him who's younger, he might do it. He might not. He's got to speak to his family and that. But he's going to do all these exhibitions for charity for a good cause. He said none of the money he's going to be keeping. So he said, I've made my money. It's just about giving back now to the guys who need it right now. So that's one thing I respect and I like about him.
I do respect that. You're right. I do like that a lot. And that does make me change perspective because I didn't actually know. I know he gave it to charity. I didn't know he's going to continue to do this for that purpose, which is amazing.
And then the next fight is Evander Holyfield.
No way.
Tree. So someone
They
asked
actually
him
said that.
because
See,
they were
that's
talking
mad.
about the Holyfield fight before the Roy Jones fight got agreed.
Yeah.
And then someone mentioned it in the post fight. Some guy asked, "Are we going to get to see you and Holyfield in the ring again?" And he was like, "Holyfield, call me, answer the phone," kind of thing, something like that. And it's strange, but if it happens, I'm definitely watching that, bro. I am definitely watching that because Holyfield's in shape.
Yeah.
It's not that he jumped out.
It's
Holyfield
mad.
is in mad
Yeah,
shape.
he stays in shape, and he showed us recently as well, innit? That he's in shape and he's ready
So
to
I'll
go.
watch that.
So I'll rate that, man.
If it's a good cause, why not?
It's a madness. Like Tyson, I have a very particular or a very special kind of affiliation with. Do you understand? Is that the word, bro?
Yeah, of course.
That's waffle. I love the guy. Loved. Now he's just on a madness. But bruv, I remember I went to. He did a signing. The year was what? Find out when this book came out. Yeah. He came to London to do a signing of a book. Yeah. Called. By the author was Joe Egan's Mike Tyson book.
Excuse me.
That's right. The guy's name is Joe Egan, yeah? And he is some Rav, what go on here, man? Flip's sake, I hate the internet. Anyway, man came. Joe Egan by Joe Egan. Mike Tyson, this is the book, blood.
Oh, that book, no.
Anyway, they came to do this book. It's in 2005. The year is 2005. I'm in the prime of my training. I'm not really the prime, but I'm training in it. And I love this guy, Mike Tyson. I find out from a good friend of mine, my guy, in fact, my training partner as well, that he's coming to London. I was like, yo, we're going to go see him. Furthermore, we're going to go be the first to see him because I know it's going to be crazy. So he's doing a signing in Waterstones in Canary Wharf. Them times there, obviously, man, was like a high school student or something like that, yeah? I don't know, high school? I don't know where I was, but I was just on like some childish thing. I packed a bag with spare clothes. I wore 3 layers of socks. It was winter. I put on everything I could, yeah? And him and I caught the train, the last train, which is like whatever, 11 o'clock or whatever it was, to, what's the place called? Canary Wharf. My days. We sat, so Canary Wharf is that district there where there's just a financial district, if you like, and there's a park there, there's a shopping centre there, so it was in the shopping centre. We just did some walking around, we tried to get into the shopping centre, obviously closed. We had the whole night to find out if there was any way we could break in, basically, and chill, but there was nowhere. So we said, you know what it is, it is what it is, man's just gonna post up on a park bench overnight, and be the first to see Mike Tyson. In my head, Mike Tyson is a megastar. So there's going to be bare people. We still need to wake up early. Even though we're flipping sleeping in the park, we need to wake up bare early and make sure that we're the first there. We get a good, like, not just a view, but do you get me? Like, for me, it's an opportunity. But first things first, we knock out in the park on a park bench, like I said. Wake up in the morning, look to my left, I rub my eyes, look to my left, look to my right. There's a third man sleeping there. And I'm thinking, yo, this guy's trying to bump the queue. I look at him, he's just a genuine hobo, bruv. He's like a homeless man that's just there for strength in numbers, innit? He's trying to get into, like, protection kind of thing, innit? I was like, this is not the life I chose, man. We get up now, walk around, find out that the main doors aren't open for the shopping centre, but there's, like, these back doors where the staff come in from. It's, like, proper, like, an underground thing. You go there, you can see it was like Metal Gear Solid. Like, you're walking down the stairs, trying to not be clocked. There's a toilet there. Sneak into the toilet. Obviously, do what you have to do. Wash up, freshen up. We slept in the winter on a park bench. So now the hand dryer is like a godsend. The hand dryer is like, and I'm like, yo, thank you, Lord, for everything that we have, because it was mad. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a tough night. This is like 6 a.m. We're just killing time. Place is now opening up. I don't know, it's probably 7 o'clock now. The doors at least are open. So we're finding refuge in the building, and we can see Waterstones. I didn't even know much of the detail. I just knew Tyson's. I was there, innit? We see Waterstones. We see, you got to buy a book. Bruv, I was broke as a youth. I was broke as a child. I never had none of this money to buy a book. Are you crazy? So then, I found someone that wanted the book and wanted the autograph, because you couldn't get the autograph without having the book. And I just wanted to meet Tyson. I didn't care about the autograph. I wanted to meet the guy. So I got the book. I said, listen, I'll stand in the queue for you, whatever. This is hours after I found out anyway. But the guys that came after us, so we arrived yesterday, the day before, at 11 o'clock or 11:30. The guys that came after us, that were second in line, they came at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Do you understand how much rage I felt inside me? 12 hours, bruv, or however many hours that is. Maths is higgy. 9 hours, of waiting unnecessarily for something that we could have just slept in our comfortable yards and came for. But it was an experience nonetheless. Tyson comes up now. I see him. I'm moving a bit childish, innit? I'm like, Tyson, he's walking past, man. But obviously there's, what's that thing? The railings there. There's people there, security. I'm like, oh, Tyson, Mike. I'm trying to get his attention. He's been to my boxing gym before. He's been to All Stars. He's trained there when he had a fight in the UK. I'm like, yo, Mike. So anyway, he's airing, man. He's just not having it. And I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. When I get to him, I'm going to just say everything I want to say in it. Like, man's been building up some flipping soliloquy, Then they basically make you get the book. So we managed to find people that wanted a book, a copy of the book signed and whatnot. And so I took it. I went there. I was like, yo, Tyson, I'm ready to talk to the guy. And then they're like, okay, yeah, keep it moving, just sign it, move on. And I'm going on like, because I know him as much as I do and I respect the guy as much as I do, he's going to feel that and it's going to be mutual. Blood man just signed it and moved on. I said, Tyson, come to All Stars, innit? What's his name? Mr. Akai, bless him, like, may he rest in peace now, he's passed. He was, he'll be waiting. He goes, yeah, I remember Mr. A. I was like, yeah, come man. I beg you, I thought, yo, I'm going to be talking to town if I can get him to come to the gym again. Imagine training with him. Imagine just him taking man on a one round spar or pads or something. Do you understand me? Like, I was so excited. Obviously, the guy effed off, man. He went back to America. Obviously, his driver, we ran into him afterwards, and he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The guy's just on the whiff. He's just doing life, innit? He's doing whatever he's doing. He's just battering the cocaine, living that reckless lifestyle. I was like, no way. But he's an athlete. And the guy's like, yeah, but he don't care no more. He'd already been washed up, innit? He'd already lost to flipping Alexander McBride or whatever. And
it's good to have him back, though. And he's helping.
Very, very... Blood, let me finish my dead story. But yeah, nah, that's it, man. But it was a mad experience. I was fuming that I didn't actually get to see the guy as much as I wanted to. But it was... yeah, Tyson's been mad, man. Pivotal you in my training career, my background. You know what I mean? But... yeah, blood. I'm very happy to see he's changed his ways and he's kind of turned his life around and that. And he's just doing all sorts of madness. So hats off to you, Mr. Tyson. You get me? Will I be watching any more of these fights? Probably purely because you said that you're doing it for charity. If you never said that, I wouldn't know. But yeah, other than that,
it's good to have him back. And
it was upsetting.
And he looks sharp for someone his age.
He looks sharp for someone his age, yeah. But like, no one his age can look sharp. Does that make sense?
Just stop being negative. You're always negative. Just take the positive.
Because I want to watch a fight. I don't want to watch a fake staged.
Just don't watch it. You're so negative. I've had enough. And on that, I'm going to end the show.
So don't watch it. Yeah.
I'm going to do this from now on by myself because that's the way it should be.
This prayer. Okay, let me just. I'm not even going to get into it. I was going to say without me, this so shit. But yeah, guys. You know what? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you don't like it, do you? So stop being negative!
Guys, this has been episode 24 of the Sweet Science Podcast. I've been your boy, Fat Mouse. Sorry about this little madness here that's happened. Yeah. But literally the mic's got the soundboard or whatever you call that thing.
The
switchboard has just it's been booked. We're going to be contacting the studio, but we're not trying to stick around to get that sorted. We're just going to fix it now. Next week it shouldn't happen. It's been a pleasure. I've been Fat Mouse.
I've been Kash with a K and not a C. Thank you.
Boom.
Also, I forgot to mention it.
What's that?
Please do subscribe.
Yeah.
The button is going to be there.
Is it? On my head?
There.
Where are you going, bruv? Is it?
Put it right there.
On my nipple.
And follow us on all the social medias. Please do get in contact if there's any questions, anything you have, suggestions of food, dessert, whatever you need, let us know. Thank you for watching. Hit the again, like I said, subscribe and the little bell to be notified with all our content. And we shall see you next week.
It's been a pleasure, still.
Boom.